everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of The Introduction. I am your host, and this week I have a very special guest. If you've seen Face of the Future pod, then you already know him. But if you haven't, I have co-host Shannon with me. Without further ado, I'm going to let him introduce himself. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it. Thank you for
Hey,
giving me your time tonight.
thank you for being on the show. So, tell us about yourself, man.
So, Shannon, homies call me Shannon Joe sometimes. 26, originally from Philly, grew up in South Jersey.
Represent.
Yeah, represent. I live in Princeton, New Jersey. I am the marketing director for a home healthcare company, and I'm a very simple guy. I also referee high school football in New Jersey, as well as run a food blog, TwoFoodeez, with me and my fiancé. Other than that, I like sports. I like my dog, and I love my fiance. That's pretty much me in a nutshell, man.
Okay. So you sound like you're pretty busy all the time. You sound like you have a lot going on. You sounds like you have a lot of things moving right now.
Yeah, definitely a lot going on. This is the prime of our life, so it's better to be moving and shaking right now as much as possible.
Nah, I hear that. Never, doesn't make sense to stop now.
Mm-hmm.
So, we might as well kick it off. Let's chat about, your podcast, Face of the Future, as well as your food podcast. How are those going?
Yeah, so the podcast is great. Face of the Future pod. Shout out to the homie Mills and the homie Moose. I actually just sent Mills a picture yesterday of a picture that we took on our first ever podcast 2 years ago. So, it was crazy thing that we've been doing it for 2 years already, and to see the growth of not only the podcast, but the growth of us as the hosts of the show, to see how much we've changed, to see how much we've grown in this space. And, we all love doing it, something that we all enjoy, something that we all look forward to every single week. We get juiced up for it. There's a lot of strong opinions on this show. Okay. There's a lot of back and forth arguments. You know what I mean? There's not a lot of agreements all the time. So, more than anything, above all else, we have fun doing it. So, me and Mills grew up together. Like I was telling you, we grew up a block apart from each other, played sports together our whole lives. And I remember, I think it might've been around 2017 or so, when he was finishing up school in Colorado, he had told me about this plan that he had. We had always talked about having a podcast, but he had talked to me about this brand that he was going to start. Okay. So when he came home, he kind of started putting the things in motion, and he was like, yeah, so I want us to do this podcast. We're going to call Faces of the Future podcast. So, when you got a person like that, that's not only a friend, but that's your brother. You want to do whatever you can to help him, as well as help myself. And, at the end of the day, we're all trying to make each other proud. You know what I'm saying? When I see a dude like Mills, things that he's overcame, seeing his work ethic, I can't do anything but give him my all. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear that. And, it's touching that you say seeing him prosper as well. Currently in the year 2021, almost said 2020 is that bad of a year. Yeah. But the year 2021, everybody currently has that dog eat dog mentality. Why can't we help each other? Why can't we see our own friend group prosper in that sense, So it's touching that you said that, and it's sentimental.
Yeah, Mills has always been a dog eat dog kind of person, you know what I'm saying? I think because just the way that he's wired. He's wired differently than I am in that aspect. You know what I mean? He's intense, you know what I'm saying? He's raw dog, we gonna go and get it. And he's always inspired me and pushed me, because seeing him, with his handicap and all, never using it as an excuse, you wouldn't even know if he didn't tell you. So seeing somebody like him, when I see the way he works and the way he does it, I think of it, man, I have no excuse. I have no excuse but to give it everything I have all the time. You know what I mean? And he is definitely someone he's all about everybody eats. Let's do this together. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to help you so that you can help somebody else get to the point where you're at, so that they can help somebody else get to the point that you're at. You know what I'm saying? And so on down the line, a domino effect. So definitely.
Let me ask, is that a mentality of just having that brother figure in that sense of, I got the rival now. I got a rival I got somebody that's going to push me to my limit.
For sure. I mean, we all have it in us. I'm not going to say that I don't have any dog in me at all, but people like Mills brings the best out of you. You know what I'm saying? We all need that person that's really going to push us a little bit harder when we don't want to be pushed. You know what I'm saying? And Mills is that guy. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, and even though he's a year younger than me and we grew up together, I look up to him. You know what I'm saying? He inspires me. So, I mean, I give him everything that I have all the time. So he definitely pushes me and even gives me, instills more confidence in myself than I even have sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear that. I definitely hear that. So, it's I like that. I like that a lot because I'm the same exact way. Me and Chase, Mill's younger brother, we get along so well. We have that
Mm-hmm.
connection of, hey, you're not going to tell me that I can't get something. If I want it, I will go out and get it, and I'll
Right.
do whatever I have to do legally to go get what I want.
Right.
Let it be known, that legal part, but let it be known I'll do what I have to do.
Right. And I think it's great when you have people like that you've known since, I knew him since I was 10 years old. We're 26 going on 27 now. So
Yeah.
we've known each other for a long time. So we know a lot about each other. He knows how I like to work. I know how he likes to work. I know how he likes things. He knows how I like things. He knows what pushes my buttons. I know what pushes his. You know what I'm saying? And everything, all the conversations aren't always great. We butt heads. We have those conversations, but at the end of the day, we all know it's nothing but love. You know what I'm saying? And we might get into a brief disagreement, but at the end of the day, we'll laugh about it. You know what I'm saying? So I think having people like that in your life is pivotal to your success.
Real quick before we start branching off into the bigger subjects, bigger topics, let me ask something, right? Would you consider that to be a true friend or a real friend?
I never thought about that. Let me
Because
think about that for a
those are
minute.
two things that some people might say, yo, they go hand in hand, and they don't.
I mean, I can see why they go hand in hand. I'm trying to think true and real. I mean, he's both.
Hey,
Mills is
hey,
both, man. I mean, Mills is both. He's a true friend. He's a real friend. I mean, he's been there for me through all of my ups and all of my downs, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? Mills is somebody definitely that he's not a yes man, and even if it's something that I don't want to hear, he'll say it and he'll check me for it. You know what I'm saying? And somebody like me personally, I need that, and I trust him, and I know that he's not gonna, like I said, be a yes man or lead me astray. Mill's gonna tell me how it is.
okay.
He's gonna tell me how it is. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I value our friendship as much as I do, because there's times where I need to talk to him, just to talk. You know what I'm saying? Just to have, because I know that he'll listen and he won't judge and he'll give me his honest opinion at the end of the day. And that you don't find that every day. That's a true friend from childhood. But I mean, I don't even call him my friend. That's my brother. You know what I'm saying? Blood wouldn't make us any closer. Our families are close. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. That's a good question. I'm gonna have to ask somebody that and see what they say. I like that.
It's that question. I only pose that question because nowadays we have so many people say, yo, bro, that's my brother. They use it with everybody. It's such a common word,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like it has no meaning to it. Back in the day when I was growing up, my pops told me, he was like, look, you'll have 5 friends in your entire life possibly. And those friends, they'll be your family at the end of the day. So
Yeah.
it's strange for me to hear that, yo, brother, yo, bro, yo, this, like not everybody is close like that, like you're saying right now, like you and Mills have. So
Yeah.
it's a lot different. It's something that not many people know how to really put into words per se.
Definitely, and it's not even just Mills. It's like it's our whole squad of friends. It's 7 of us, right? 7 of us. We all grew up in the same two developments. All within walking distance to each other's houses. We've all been friends. Like I've been friends with my homie Dex since I was 8. When I first moved to Jersey. I met Mills when I was 10. I met Julian and Kenna when I was 11. Met Rondell when I was 12. I knew Ray from the time I was 8 years old too, because we played in the same football organization. So these are the guys, the same friends that I grew up with my whole life, are the same guys that I talk to every single day. The only guys that I really truly hang out with and spend time with. You know what I mean? We make sure that we made this decision at the beginning of either this year or last year, I forget, but we were going to make sure that we made time for each other one weekend a month, because we all live in different places. We all got shit going on, but we all know that we all need that time to see each other. And while we're all still within 2 or 3 hours drive of each other, we make sure that we make time for each other, because those relationships are pivotal. Sometimes with everything going on in life and the stresses and everything that life brings, sometimes you need to just be with your homies for like 6 or 7 hours and just chill. and just talk and just eat and be around some good vibes. So, you definitely can't call everybody your brother. People do throw that term around very, very loosely these days, but for me, those are my bros for life. You know what I mean?
Yep. It's just you have built that. You built this bond. You know how each other moves.
Yeah.
You know exactly where they want to be and vice versa.
Exactly.
So they will push you to that goal, and as the same way you will push them.
Mm-hmm.
So staying that, let's jump to the podcast. You guys work together. You guys argue. Now you have another podcast.
Yeah.
You
I
have
have
your
another
food.
blog. Yeah, another blog.
You have your
Yeah.
food blog.
Yeah.
So enlighten us. Tell us about that.
So the food blog, as you can see, the smile on my face, food brings me like more joy than anything else in the world. Me and my fiance run a food blog, TwoFoodeez. Follow us on Instagram, like us on Facebook. We go around different places across the East Coast of is where we really been so far, trying out different food spots, going to see what different areas have to offer, trying to find a staple in each area and feature that, trying to find the best restaurants from each area and feature them on our page. We actually just came back from Rhode Island this past weekend. We went to Providence to see my fiance's best friend, and they showed us around to some great food places that were absolutely incredible. So we've hit a number of cities. We've been as far as Ohio. We've been as low as DC, Florida. So I mean, as far north as Providence, Rhode Island, and Boston.
Okay.
So I mean, we've hit a lot of pockets of places across the East Coast, and we absolutely love doing it. I mean, who doesn't love scrolling on IG and seeing pictures of food? You know what I mean?
Going on your TikTok, you see food getting cooked. You're just like, man, I could watch this for hours.
Exactly.
So, let me ask, right? Is that really what drives you? Or is it the sense of, hey, me and my fiance, we're spending this time going on these adventures together?
I mean, it's a little bit of both. We both love food,
okay,
right? That's my fiance. That's my best friend in the whole planet. So there's nobody else that I want to spend time with other than her. You know what I mean? So we love getting in the car, going on a long drive somewhere, getting some good food, going to walk around the city or walk around the area. And that's how we really spend our time together and bond, because we both work a lot. So, especially on the weekends, that's really our time to spend time with each other. That's how we bond. We bond over food. You know what I'm saying? We both love food. It's just like walking into a restaurant that has a great vibe, great service, and on top of it, you get great food. You know what I'm saying? So those are the places that we really, really look for.
Okay. All right. Well,
if you need some recommendations, just ask me. I might have something for you.
No, I'm definitely gonna have to ask. It sounds like you got all the date spots, so you know exactly where to go.
Oh yeah. We've been to probably Philadelphia, and New York, really more than any other place. A lot of local spots in Princeton, New Jersey, because this is where we live, so we know most of the places around here. We've been to DC a lot. We actually did a private tasting for a new restaurant opened up in DC. That was actually one of the coolest experiences that I ever had in my life, to see like the chef actually is a chop champion. The show Chopped on Food Network. He's a chop champion.
Oh.
So like to see him cook in front of us was like an incredible experience.
Did he bring out the best, like his best platter? Like, how did that work?
Man, he brought out some stuff that I never ever tried before. So he made this like this lemon pepper honey fried rice.
Oh,
that was off the chain. He made this lobster miso ramen that was off the chain. I mean, he was just in there throwing down, and he had like it was like, and it was cool for us because, like I said, he's based in Maryland, in Marlboro, Maryland, and it was like 10 food bloggers there, but they were all from the DMV. We were the only ones that were from out of state, from out of that area. So that was a good feeling for us to know that this is a critically acclaimed chef who has multiple restaurants, successful restaurants across DC all the way down to Atlanta, and he invited us down to do a feature for his new restaurant. So that was cool, and that's really what it's all about. You know what I mean? Because, like I said, more than anything else, we enjoy that kind of stuff. All the other stuff is just a plus.
Okay, so at least you got to enjoy it. You got to see that. You got to be literally like you were basically a judge.
Yeah, we were. Yeah, it was cool. It was real cool.
You gave me your honest opinion. You let him know, like, hey, look, it tastes good. It tastes bad.
And he was from Philly. So for me and him, we had like a little connection going on the whole time because we from the same city. So it was dope. It was definitely dope. And like seeing somebody like that, as successful as he is, walking to his house was incredible, and he has all kinds of crazy whips out in front of his home. So it's like when you see that, it's like, yeah, this is what I gotta do to get to this point. You know what I'm saying? So being around people like that is only going to help you elevate.
Okay. Yo, speaking of that, right? Speaking of that, being around people, let's move over something.
Okay.
Being around people who have your same mindset and your same goal, how does that drive you? How does that push you?
Well, they say that you are the company you keep.
Yeah,
You know what I
they
mean?
say
So
that a lot.
you definitely want to have the right people in your circle. Back to the groups again, like you were saying, you definitely want to have people around you that are pushing you to do what you to accomplish your goals, no matter what it is, right? I'll give you an example, not even really based off anything crazy. So last year I was trying to lose weight. I wanted to lose weight. I was kind of doing a half-assed, right? We linked up, and I forgot I was eating something that I shouldn't have been eating because I'm trying to be on a diet. So my homies was like, "Yo, didn't you say you was trying to lose weight, bro? Like, what is you doing? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Holding me accountable. You said you was trying to lose weight. We're gonna hold you accountable until you start losing some weight because we want the best for you, and they just trying to push you and drive you. But like I said before, with the yes men, you don't want to have yes men around you that are just telling you what you want to hear. You need those people in your life that are going to tell you the thing that you don't want to hear. You need people that are going to hold you accountable, but you need to be held accountable because it's not easy, even for adults, to always accept the fact that they fucking up or they doing something wrong or they not putting in the effort that they should be putting in. That's hard for adults to accept sometimes. So you need your friends that don't care about how you're going to feel because they know you might get a little bit mad or whatever the case may be, but they know that where they come from is a place of love. So you definitely need those people in your corner that are going to push you in the right direction
Okay.
and to correct you when you're wrong and to tell you like, hey man, don't be doing that dumb stuff. You know what I mean? So the company you keep is pivotal. They say birds of a feather flock together. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So you definitely want to be on the straight and narrow, you and your homies.
Okay. Okay. So I like hearing that. I like hearing that a lot. Now, let me ask something about where you plan to be at in the next 5 years. You
Okay.
already hit on it. You are a high school referee
Mm-hmm.
for the sport of football, right?
For football, yes.
All right. So, do you want to be in the NFL? Do you want to be at the college level, or do you want to stay here?
I definitely want to move on. My end goal, obviously, is the NFL level because that's the best of the best.
Okay.
Excuse me. I will have to go through the college ranks as well to get to that point. But my end goal, without a question, and really, what my true passion is being a referee. That's what I want to do in my life. That's what I want my career to be. That's what I'm pushing for more than anything else.
Okay. Okay. So you know the guys in the black and white, the zebras. They get a lot of hate. They get a lot of hate.
Yes, sir.
I, you know,
Yes, sir.
I
Man,
refereed the AAU game for basketball, and I was like, I'm never doing this again.
yeah, if you talking about basketball, they keep trying to get me to do basketball. I'm like, yo, listen, I'm not doing basketball. Football is one thing because there's about a 20-yard gap in
Yeah.
between me and the people that are in the stands that don't know anything about the rules, right? Basketball, they right on top of you and they yelling at every single call. So I'm like, nah, I'm staying away from basketball for the time being.
Yep.
You gotta have a different kind of mentality to do that.
So okay, right. Because basketball is a much different sport.
Yes, it is.
And it's not even like, AAU is not even like the parent, it's the players coming at you.
Mm-hmm.
It's the basketball dads that are coming at you. The dads are right there in your ear saying, you missed a call. What's going on?
Because everybody's son is a star, right?
Exactly.
And not only that, but it's like everybody wants what's best for their team. You know what I'm saying? So that part about it, I understand, but people don't know where to draw the line. And I mean, some of the things that I've had said to me, some things that I've had said to some of my peers, or like totally inappropriate. And I'm just like, man, at the end of the day, it's football. And being a referee in any sport is not a perfect science. There's going to be human error. We're not going to see everything, especially at a level like that. In the AU game, there might only be two of y'all. You know what I'm saying? In a JV high school game, there might be three of us. In the little kids games, there might be just two of us. In some instances, there's just one of us. We're not going to see everything on the field. There's 22 players. There's 22 different interactions going on. we're not going to catch everything. So, and this is what I say to people more than anything, especially at the high school level.
Okay.
People often get it confused. The rules you see on Friday nights are not the same rules you see on Sundays. They're not the same rules, right? People don't understand that. People will be yelling, encroachment from the stands. There's no encroachment in high school football. It's offsides. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So it's just little itty bitty thing like that. The rules aren't the same universally. So that's what I think a lot of people get confused. But over the years, I'm going to my 4th year. You learn to tune it out. There has been some instances where I've heard some things and I wanted to look and say some things, but we are professionals. We are state employees. We do have people watching us. So we got to be on our best behavior. And I think that has also taught me a lot about myself and on how to deal with it, because I can be a bit of a hothead at times. Okay. That's definitely taught me how to it's all noise at the end of the day. It's all noise.
Okay. So right there, right? That hothead part and the noise part. For us football players, us ex-football players, any ex-athlete, they know when you in your sport, be it you're our age, you're past 20, you're past that high school level where you could be playing, or you're just past that time of playing. When you step on the field or court, you're back into that mentality of, I'm here. I am 100%. Here. I am here in this game. How do you personally take yourself out of it? Because you're now a ref.
Oh man, it's crazy, right? So I didn't really know what I was getting myself into, right? I played football from the time I was 5 to the time I was 19. I played for 1 year in college. Okay. I had no clue about the rules. So that's how I know that the people that aren't studying the books and the manuals that we're studying have no clue, because and I watch football constantly, all Saturday, all Sunday, Tuesday night MAC conference games, Thursday night Sunbelt games, Friday night, whatever game is on, I'm watching it. So, and I thought I knew everything about the rules. So I thought I was going to walk into this and breeze through it, and I had no clue. There's so many rules and there's so many things involved that go into it that is crazy. So for me, right, walking onto the field, because I'm a little bit younger, I'm able to relate to the kids a lot easier than the older guys, right? Because they look at me, this kid looks like he's only a couple years older than me, right? So taking yourself out of it it's totally, I see the game totally different now. Even when I watch it at home, I'm like, oh, that's a hold. It's a block in the back. I almost find myself watching the refs more than I'm actually watching the game, right? Okay. Taking yourself out of it is hard, because when you walk into the field on Friday nights, the lights are on, the music is playing, the band is going, and it's not even just me, right? Even the guys that have been doing it for years, that are in their 40s and 50s, they still, we have to wear with your head bobbing. They get the juices flowing too, because you get back into that mode, because there was nothing will ever compare to Friday night football games with the kids you grew up with. So, but I mean, once the game starts, like you were when you play sports, you get locked in. You just lock in and you do your job. But I mean, like I said, I love walking onto a field, especially when it's like two good teams. It's a sold out stadium. The music is going. The players are getting hyped up. I can see the atmosphere, man. The vibe of it is an incredible feeling. And that's also one of the reasons that I got back into it in the first place, because I wanted to be back around the game in some form. Okay. So I thought this would have been one of the best ways of doing it other than coaching.
Okay. All right. So if you could, would you coach?
I don't think that's a lifestyle for me, only because I know the schedule of coaches. Okay. And just that lifestyle is tough. Long hours, long days, the turnover of kids, having to deal with, kids in their situations at home, kids not showing up, coaches leaving your staff, just all those things coming down to it. And plus, let's say you're coaching in college somewhere, you have a job here, you have a bad season or two, you get fired. Then you got to find another job, which might be across the country. You got to pick your family up, move your family across the country. Yeah. And you never know when you're going to get fired. You can have one bad season and get fired, especially now in today's age where everyone's expecting success to be quick. Yep. You can get fired at any moment in time. I just don't think that was a lifestyle for me.
Okay. All right. Well, it's that sense of being back in the sport. That's why I wanted to really get to know that answer from you. Because I spoke to somebody a couple weeks ago. I spoke to Ray, ex-athlete. Now he's doing his football camp, his own first down performance. He has a camp coming up in New Jersey in May. So he has that being an ex-athlete, and the same with you, the same with me. Ex-athletes, we're trying to do something in the sports realm, in the realm where we feel comfortable.
Right. And at the end of the day, more than anything else, I have so much fun doing it. If I didn't enjoy being a referee, I wouldn't do it. And I didn't know that I was going to come into this field and realize what I really want to do in my life, which is become an NFL referee. You know what I'm saying? So it's funny. It's funny how God works. It's funny how he puts things in your life and you realize like, wow, this is what I want to do until I'm 50 years old or 60 years old. You know what I mean? So like you said, being back around the game, I think is great for the psyche. It's great for the mental aspect, because we as athletes often, when our playing days are over, we kind of don't know what to do with ourselves. It's kind of like, what do I do now? You know what I mean? Because I can remember when my playing days were over in college, being in the atmosphere is great. And, I realized that doing this is what I found out, or which is why I discovered what I want to do with the rest of my life, essentially, which is become an NFL referee. And, I'm so thankful. Shout out to the person that got me into it, because I was a little bit skeptical about it. But like I said, I wanted to get back around the game, because I thought about it at first. I remember what I used to say to referees when I was playing. You know what I'm saying? and I ran into plenty of kids that remind me of myself. And one of the things that I also enjoy about it is being able to interact with the kids, being able to talk to them, right? Because I'm an umpire, right? So I'm in the middle of the field, right behind the offensive line. I'm in the mix with everything that's going on. I'm not on the outside like the other guys are. So I'm able to talk to these kids. Sometimes I hear their plays. I'll be like, that ain't gonna work here. Just kind of joking with myself.
Like, yeah, that's not working out.
Yeah. So, just kind of joking with them, and, we go back and forth, and I've been able to see some kids over the past couple of years go from a sophomore who was a JV player to now a great player as a senior that's going on to play in college. So that's great for me to see as well, to see the growth of these players. They remember who I am. And I think that that's also good, nice to leave an impact on the kids, because I can remember a lot of the guys that I work with now, or guys that I remember that were refereeing when I was playing. You know what I mean? So I just think that it's awesome. And I think, like I said, I think it's great for the mental, because, us as athletes, when the game is, when our playing days are over, we don't really know what to do with ourselves. You know what I mean? So I think that this was something great that I got into, and I couldn't be happier.
Okay. So I'm actually really glad to hear that. But now we about to hit you with a little quiz. We about to hit you with a little teaser. I got 3 quick questions for you, just 3. You're going to be a ref. I got to ask 3 questions. The first we're going to lead off with is the Deflategate. 2000, the Eagles versus the Pats. What would your decision be? What would your ruling be, and how would you, enforce it?
You talking about the deflated balls?
Yeah.
So that is a crazy situation, right? The reason that's so crazy to me is because something that I don't think people realize what goes into these games is all the things that really make up an entire football game, like us as referees. We meet before each game. Me and the referee will go out. The whole crew will go out to the field like an hour and a half. We have to be on the field an hour and a half before the game starts. We'll do a field check. We'll move the markers back. We'll make sure everything is spaced out the way it's supposed to be. We'll check the balls. We'll mark the balls. We'll talk to the coaches. We'll ask them, what do you guys plan on running today? Do you guys have any goofy play that you're going to run? This so that we're aware, so that we can go back to each other and say, listen, they're going to run this. He said he's going to run this play on 4th and 5, maybe. So just be aware this is going to happen. I don't think people even know that goes on, because I didn't. So there's meetings that go on before games. I'm talking to centers, seeing how centers want the ball placed, because you can't move that ball when it's placed down. So how do you want the ball placed? So as far as the deflate gate goes, I'm shocked they never caught it earlier, because we have these things. We go and we check the pressure of the balls ourselves.
Okay.
And if a ball isn't right, I'll either pump it up myself, or I'll say, you're not using this ball. You're not using this thing until it gets more air in it. And we'll mark the balls so that we know which balls are game balls and which balls aren't supposedly balls. Because you have a lot of times where what teams will try to do is they'll have their regular game balls, then they'll have their ball they use for kicking off. It'll be a little bit lighter. So it's like, no. Nah, get that out of here. You're not bringing that in here. So with that, I was really more surprised that they didn't pick it up sooner. But at the same time, with it being cold, the ball tends to lose pressure.
Okay.
So it was just a crazy situation. I mean, it was sketchy because like Brady destroyed his cell phone that he was talking to the ball boy with. So that whole thing was sketchy. So I think because of that, it made them look guilty, which is why I think that they ended up getting in trouble when it came down to it anyway.
Okay.
It all just looked real bad. Plus, the Patriots have been known to do some cheating stuff
Yeah.
always. So it was very fitting for them.
Okay. Okay. So that was the first one. That was a little easy. We're gonna hit the second one. Second one goes back to the pass interference call versus the Rams versus the Saints for the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
What do you think right there?
So that play, you can't miss that call. I mean, it was so blatant, it was so obvious, and the referee was standing right there on it. I don't know what happened to him. He might have just had one where he froze up. You know what I mean? But nevertheless, you're a professional. You're getting paid a great amount of money. This is the NFC Championship, or I'm sorry, is it the first round we're talking about here? First round of the playoffs, where people are tuned in all across the country. It's the playoff time. It's a different season now. So now you got everybody watching. You cannot afford to miss calls like that. You just can't have it. And sadly, that referee ended up getting fired after that. So, it's an unfortunate part of it, but it kind of makes everything look bad. You know what I mean? Because it's like that something that blatant, you should never miss it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Especially when it's right in front of you that moment in the game. And like it was so obvious that Nikhil Roby-Coleman, who committed the penalty, got up and was looking around for the flag and was surprised that there wasn't a flag on the field. You know what I'm saying? Because he pass interfered on purpose so that they wouldn't score a touchdown. Yep. You know what I mean? So you just can't miss call like that when it comes down to it. You can't miss it.
So right there, right? Is that something that you as a ref, you as a team, more or less, you guys got to come together and just say collectively, hey, look, you're wrong. Yes. Like, would you ever downplay, not to say downplay, but would you ever argue with the referee mid-game just to say, look, your call is actually wrong? This is not right.
Absolutely. So, I mean, I'm sure you've seen it plenty of times in the game where there will be a penalty and all the guys will kind of converge together and talk about it, right? So we'll talk about, all right, this is what I saw. What did you see? All right, I had a little bit of a better angle on it and I saw this. Let's go with this call, or let's pick that flag up and wave it off. You know what I mean? In that situation, there was no flag on the field, so you can't just converge. All right, we're going to drop a flag now. It doesn't work like that. So you definitely come together and have those conversations, especially when it comes to penalties like ineligible men down the field, an illegal forward pass, and intentional grounding. Because on intentional grounding, we'll all come together and say, what did you guys see? Was anybody in the area? Well, I wasn't there. I was holding the line, but I saw this. You know what I'm saying? So we definitely come together and have those conversations. You can get overruled. We tried to limit our meetings to at the most a minute and a half, especially at the high school level. We kind of want to get in and get out. What did you see? What did you see? Let's sit up and move. Let's go. Because we don't have the luxury of review at our level. So we definitely want to come to a decision quick and keep it pushing. But we definitely had those conversations. There's definitely been times where guys have been overruled. But you don't be an asshole about it or anything like that. You say, listen, I saw this. I think I had a better angle on it. Let's go with the call that I saw. And that's okay. Okay. Because like I said, you're not gonna see everything.
Yeah. But as long as you catch it or see something. Yeah. Okay. So, final thing, the last one, the toughest one, because everyone has a different response for it. Targeting. I'm gonna throw it to most recent. Ohio State versus Clemson. Down on that play.
You're gonna ask me the Buckeye question. I gotta be unbiased here. Okay. So it's tough, right? Because the most important thing about football is safety, right? I really think because especially now, guys are so much faster that I think it's hard for a defender sometimes to tackle the proper way, which is to lead with your shoulder. Yep. I think natural football instinct will lead you to lead your head. The things that I don't like about the call or the fact that a player gets ejected, I think it should be a 15-yard penalty. And then if he gets another one, then you might eject him for a half, maybe, but not for an entire game because, Clemson lost their defensive play caller, their middle linebacker, the best player in our defense against one of the most high-powered offenses in the country. You don't want players like that to not be on the field, and we don't want to have any control over that. We want to let the players control the outcome of the game, totally. But they put the rules in place so that players are taught more or how to tackle safely, right? There's also the training that goes on with that, even from the coaches, even to us. We take concussion tests. The coaches take concussion tests because we want the game to be safe. Leading with your head. I mean, I've seen some nasty, vicious hits. Kids get knocked out. Kids going off the field in stretchers. I mean, I myself suffered from concussions in college, and I'm a victim of some targeting, but it's a part of the game as well, and it's been a part of the game since the beginning of the game. Sometimes, you're gonna be running across the middle, and that safety's waiting for you because this is the third or fourth time he ran that play. He's waiting for you to come down, and he's gonna hit you. And sometimes I feel like it's not always the defender's fault. I feel like sometimes even the offensive guys kind of sort of lower themselves or like lower their heads, and the defenders come up. But when you see that hit to the neck and that head jolt backwards, that whiplash, it's not good. And plus, I mean, anytime you're leading in with the crown of your helmet, that's not good. So, I mean, I don't like the ejection, but I understand the penalty and I understand why it's in place because they want the game to be safe.
Yeah, and there's nothing else they can do because there's multiple times where they try to correct it, but like you said, the game's just getting faster.
Yeah,
it's getting so fast to the point where there's players that'll outrun an entire team.
Yeah, and let's not get this twisted, right? Quarterbacks are the most important player on the field for any team. We're going to protect the quarterbacks. That's just the thing. The quarterbacks are going to be protected more than anybody else on the field. Yeah. So that hit against Justin Fields, when you saw him get hit in his hip with the helmet going down and you saw the way his body twisted in the whiplash, I knew automatically, he's getting ejected for that. Because he hit not only did he hit a player, but he hit a quarterback. You know what I mean?
It's funny that you said that exactly too, right? Quarterbacks are the safest position because I'll actually take it to the Browns versus the Chiefs. In their game, when David Njoku was trying to score, he got hit out of bounds, but it was a helmet-to-helmet contact.
You talking about the fumble?
Yeah, but it wasn't ruled that helmet-to-helmet.
Yeah. So, I mean, wow. I can talk about this all day, right? So that's one of them bang plays, right? And another thing is, you're not seeing all that real time because it's happening like that. You're not going to pick up on all that real time, right? So all that referee was looking at that time was the play that was at the goal line, which was him reaching the ball over the goal line. That's what the referee was watching. Nobody's watching for that helmet to helmet because it's not really that common in that spot. So you're very rarely going to catch that when it's live action because it's too fast. But when you have the ability to go back and review those things like the NFL does, there should be no excuse as to why you should get it wrong. But here's another thing, because it gets real confusing. If it's not called on the field, it's going to be hard to get it called in review, right?
Oh.
It's the same way with touchdowns, right? Let's say we have a call on the field at the 1 yard line. They call it a touchdown, right? But I mean, on the video, it's kind of clear he got in. It's kind of clear he didn't get in. Because of the ruling on the field, if it's not a surefire thing of this was a touchdown or not, you're going to go with the call on the field, right? If it's a little bit iffy, you're going to go with the call that was on the field originally. You need clear and concrete proof that it is whatever it is you're looking for in that situation of review. So reviews can get tricky, but I mean, it really all depends about the call on the field that happens initially. And a lot of times, like I said, you're not going to catch that in real time. It's very hard. And that's what I think people sitting at home don't realize how fast the game is moving because we're watching for guys. If it's a guy in bounds, did he fumble the ball before he got hit? Did the hit cause the fumble? Did the ball go out of bounds? Did he fall in bounds? There's so much that's going on that you're not going to catch everything. It's impossible.
Okay. So, with that, with all that being said, what if you were the ref? If you and your team came together and you're there real time, and we're going to throw it back to the Buckeyes because that's your team. I want that unbiased right there. I want that unbiasedness.
Okay.
What are you saying?
In real time, it looks like a football play. You don't see the hit. The only reason that even went to review is because Justin Fields was hurt on the play. The guy in the replay booth said, we got to take a look at this play. But in real time, there was no penalty thrown. There was no flag.
Yeah.
But the guy in the booth can go back and say, hey, I think we might have had some target on this play. We need to go take a look at it. That's the only reason that Switkowski was kicked out of that game, because Justin Fields was hurt. He was down for a couple of minutes, and they had the opportunity to then go back and look. If Justin Fields would have maybe got off the field right after that, and they wouldn't have no time to look at it, they would have kept playing, and Switkowski would have never been kicked off. So in real time, I don't think we would have caught it because it looked like a football play. Again, bang, bang. You have two guys colliding. That's all you really see. But when you go down and you go in slow motion, you see him leading with his head. He hits him right in the hip. You know, it's a nasty play. So unbiasedly, I probably wouldn't have called a flag there. Real time.
Okay. So let me get one more question.
Okay.
And we will wrap it up. All right. Because this is probably everyone knows where he's going. Everybody knows where he's going. But where is Justin Fields going? Because number 1 and number 2 is already taken. Trevor Lawrence, the Jags, Zach Wilson to the Jets. I'm a big Jets fan, and I'm cool.
Oh, you really?
That.
Okay,
Yeah,
I forgot you from Queens. You from Queens. That's right.
Yeah,
Represent.
man.
Okay.
I'm cool with Zach Wilson coming. He has that, crazy arm talent. But where is Justin Fields going, being that third quarterback on the board?
I mean, you said everybody knows where he's going. I don't know where he's going to end up. I mean, I've seen so many different mock drafts saying so many different things. I would like to see him wind up in San Fran with Kyle Shanahan and the crew. I'd like to see him wind up in Atlanta with Arthur Smith, Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, and plus he's from Georgia. He's not going to go to Carolina. I don't want him to go to Dallas. He wouldn't because of Dak's contract. But I saw some mock drafts today having the Patriots trade up to get him.
Yeah, I saw that.
I would like for him to go there too because he will be coached up. But I really think even more so, without it just being as talented as a player is, it's from playing football too. Fit matters. Coaching matters. Where you go matters. So I just want him.
So, where's Justin Fields going?
Okay. Now that I'm thinking about it, right? Do you think, would you rather have Zach Wilson or Justin Fields?
If I'm really being honest, we're now taking over that Kyle Shanahan system with 2 San Fran coaches coming to New York. I would rather take Justin Fields.
Why? Let me ask you why.
I like mobility. I like mobility in the pocket, as well as I feel like the Jets' offensive line isn't there yet to the point where they're not going to break down in less than 2 seconds. Every season we've been breaking down in 0.5. We haven't had 3 seconds. I feel like Justin Fields has that confidence and has that playmaking ability to move around the pocket, to get out of the pocket, and if he had to really do it, make moves on the feet. Zach Wilson, I love it. I love him. He can throw the ball. He has a nice spiral. But the thing is, I don't think he has that toughness New York needs.
Okay. Respect. Okay. I like that.
I saw it. I was like, yeah, he's getting up. He has that New York dog that we need.
Okay. So, I think I feel like Justin Fields has really got nitpicked a lot on in this draft process. You hear people talk about all kinds of people really are like nitpicking on, he had 2 horrible games. He had a game against Indiana where he threw 4 picks, but he threw for like 400 yards. He didn't have a great game, but again, against Northwestern, the number 1 defense in the country. You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm like, all right, so take away those 2 games, and he still has like 55 touchdowns, 4 picks, 72% completion percentage, is setting all these kind of crazy records. So, I thought he was going to be the surefire number 2 pick going into this draft because that's what it was last year. And I think when he went head-to-head with Trevor Lawrence, he really, really showed up. Yeah. Both times, he showed up both times, but like this past year, they really got the big W. So I think I would like him to go to either San Fran because of Kyle Shanahan, and or I would like to see him go to Atlanta with Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, Arthur Smith, plus he's from Georgia. But I also saw today that like New England's trying to trade up to get him. I would love that too because of Bill. Also, they revamped their receiving core somewhat. They brought in 2 great tight ends, Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith. They added Nelson Aguilar. So I think adding him to that fold, Bill's not going to ask him to do anything crazy. Just make the right play. And I think that he's a playmaker. You know, like you say, he's a playmaker. I think he'll be great wherever he goes. But like fit matters. Fit matters. So I worry about him going somewhere where the fit isn't exactly the best, like a Miami. Even though Miami could be good for him, but they have Tua. Do you want to have a controversy there? What I'm saying, Cincinnati doesn't need one. Detroit doesn't need one. So we'll see what happens. But I would like to see him go to San Fran or Atlanta. And if the Eagles didn't have Jalen Hurts, I would say Philly.
See, but okay, let me ask you one last question then, right? Because you're a Philly fan. What's wrong with him going there? What's wrong with him going there and creating a competition?
What's wrong with him going here to me is this, right?
Okay.
You drafted Jalen Hurts in the second round last year.
Yeah.
Clearly things weren't right with Carson Wentz. He had a horrible year. Clearly he wasn't the guy that you believed in going forward. You traded him, right? I think if you need to go all in on a guy that you drafted in the second round because you drafted him in the second round. You know what I'm saying? Guys that you draft in those first 3 to 4 rounds, the guys that need to come in and make an immediate impact. Those are your playmakers, right? Those are guys you expect them to come in and play, especially the quarterback. And I think Jalen has the ability to be great. I just don't know if the organization is going to put a team around him to be successful. They're definitely in rebuild mode. And here's another concern that I have with the Jalen Hurts situation, right? The Eagles already have 2 first-round picks next year. They got a first in a trade that they made to trade down.
Yep.
Then they got another first, their own first. And then if Carson Wentz plays I think 75% of the snaps this year, they'll get the Indianapolis first. So they could have 3 first-round picks next year. So I'm thinking if he doesn't produce this year and they don't see enough from him, they're going to package those picks and maybe move up in the draft to draft another quarterback. You know what I'm saying? So I worry for Jalen Hurts. I would love to see Justin Fields here, but I think that you need to believe in the guy you drafted in the second round.
Okay. So, all right. Final question. And then I'm done. Then I'm gonna stop talking. Right? You have quarterbacks because I think since 2016, 2017, we've had numerous first-round quarterbacks traded or released, not re-signed. What? Hell, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, actually, Josh Rosen was picked in the top 10 to the Cardinals. Kyler Murray came in, and then he got traded.
Overrated.
Very.
I thought Josh Rosen was one of the most overrated quarterbacks that I ever seen.
Really?
And personally, with Josh Rosen, I didn't like the fact that he came on and said that I thought I was going to have to go up there and fake a smile because he got drafted 10th. I'm like, dog, you know how many people wish that they could just be drafted at all? You got picked 10th over players. The players that are picking in front of you are better than you. You know what I'm saying? Be happy that you got drafted. As you can see, his career hasn't amounted to anything. I mean, they drafted Kyler Murray the next year and traded him. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I think one of the reasons that you see so much movement with quarterbacks is because, one, coaches are constantly moving. Coaches and GMs want to have their guy, right? If they're going to fall, if they're going to take a fall for somebody and get fired, they're going to take a fall with their guy, with the guy that they picked to draft, right? They're a quarterback, right? And I also think that these kids coming into the league now are so talented, and these kids already have 50,000 throws under their belts because now these kids are playing in 7-on-7 tournaments from the time that they're 7, 8 years old, and they go to these camps.
I'm seeing somebody, corners, the safety positions, any defensive back position has difficulty because of all the 7-on-7s. It's just,
and not only that, but the rules are tailor made for the offense.
Exactly.
Right. So I think all those things combined, I mean, the quarterback carousel is like crazy. I mean, there's even guys that can play that are backups, like Jameis Winston. He can play. He had a bad year in Tampa, but Jameis Winston can play. Marcus Mariota, he can play. He's gotten to the playoffs. He can play. Fitzpatrick, he's been around, but he can play. I don't.
Team. My fault. Sorry for interrupting you. Mm-hmm. But the biggest team that really has all backups that could be starters on any other team is the Buccaneers.
Yeah, for sure. And those guys are all over the league. That's why I'm so mad that the XFL didn't work out, because this is going to be another opportunity for those guys to just get playing, get exposure. But I definitely think all the culmination of the kids having more access to be trained at high levels, all the throws, all the camps, all goes into it. Because I mean, you look at a Trevor Lawrence's tape and like a Zach Wilson's pro day. These guys are incredible. These guys are just spinning it like crazy. Like you look at a Mahomes You never seen nothing like that before. Besides maybe an Aaron Rodgers, who even like Aaron Rodgers, like just the way it just looks different. You know what I mean? You know how you just say the eye test, it just looks different. So,
I
but
remember watching those All-Star weekend, the camps, and they
yeah, the
had the
Pro Bowl,
quarterback parts. They were throwing it was crazy. He threw for 40 yards. Damn. These quarterbacks now 50, 60 yards flat-footed with ease.
Flat-footed. And I mean, I know you saw the one Zach Wilson throw when he's running to his left.
Yeah.
And he throws back all the way across the middle of the field, like 70 yards, and just drops it in. That's crazy. That's crazy.
That's just passes that were not getting made in the past. And we were sitting back, we'd be sitting there thinking, watching the games, like, damn, Peyton Manning, nobody's gonna have it like him. Drew Brees, nobody. Mike Vick, nobody, None of these quarterbacks will ever be replaced. But Lamar Jackson's here. Pat Mahomes is here. Hell, we got Zach Wilson and Trevor Lawrence coming in this coming season.
Yeah, they're coming for them records, bro. Mahomes is coming for them records, bro. I mean, it's just crazy when I watch these guys. I mean, the game of football is just crazy when I see some of the plays that are made. Like, it's looking like these guys are just playing with nobody. Like, when you watch a Patrick Mahomes and a Tyreek Hill, you ain't stopping that shit. You know what I'm saying? you're not gonna stop that when you watch a guy like a Matt Ryan and Julio Jones. You're not stopping that. You know what I mean? It doesn't even matter where he throws it. You know Julio gonna make a play, or Patrick Mahomes is gonna throw the ball in the tightest of windows in the perfect place where only his guy can get it. Yep. So I think that these guys are going to be forever evolving. I think the league is only going to get better and better.
But with that said, though, doesn't that mean you got to also, as a ref, get better too?
Absolutely. I mean, I think they'll probably end up adding a sky judge or another official to the field.
Okay.
There's already, let's see, 2, 4. There's already 8 guys out there now. They could add another 2. It's because there's so much going on and the scrutiny is so high. People are demanding perfection. And here's the other thing I want to say about reffing, right? I think when people fail to realize this, you can call a penalty on every single play. There's holding on every play.
Yeah.
There's a penalty on every single play, right? So if we wanted to, we could be out here throwing flags for everything. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta let the players play a little bit. It gets physical. When you have 2 guys, a wide receiver in the corner that are running down the field fighting each other, let them fight. If they're fighting each other, then that's a fair fight. But if one guy's pulling other, then that's something different. But if they're pushing each other and elbowing each other, they're not going to throw no flag. You know what I mean? But when it's blatant, like it was with the Rams and the Saints, you can't miss a call like that. You know what I mean? So I think as the players get better, the refs will have to get better as well. No doubt.
Okay. All right. And that's something that's crazy because it's something that's going to keep changing in the next 5, 10, 15 years. It's going to keep changing. Sports are going to get faster. Hell, people will be literally there real time watching it every day. I know this coming season, teams are literally letting people come back.
Yeah.
So that's going to be something new. That's going to be not even new. That's going to be something where people will enjoy again.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of stadiums, like you see, are coming back full capacity, so that's crazy to see now. Because I'm interested to see how I was going to work at the high school level. There was a limit on how many fans were able to attend each game last year, so I'm interested to see how that's going to work out come fall time. Hopefully, we can have a season.
Yeah, without a doubt, it would be honestly awesome to have those seasons because it takes away a lot from you. It takes a lot from the kids. Everyone likes to have those times where they can just.
Yeah.
Football, you get to go hit somebody.
Forget us. It's about the kids at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? And not only that, but I feel bad for the kids, especially the seniors. They didn't get a chance to fight for a chance to go to the playoffs or a chance to play in front of all of your friends and family because there's a limited amount of tickets. You know what I'm saying? Homecoming games aren't happening because there is no homecoming. Yeah. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. And just the camaraderie, I mean, we had some games this year where teams had 2 games out of the 8 they were allowed. Had 2 games because of COVID protocols. You know what I mean? Some teams, we had a team that was playing against their first game against a team that was playing their 5th game of the year already. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, is this fair? Is it not fair? But it's kind of just the world we living in now. So hopefully, with more vaccines becoming available, with the summertime coming up, hopefully that the numbers can stay down enough for them to feel comfortable enough to maybe, hopefully, first of all, open the schools back up and allow fans to come in. So that's my hope for the rest of the year.
Hey, just keep praying and it'll happen.
Yep, for sure.
But all righty, man. Thank you for coming on the show today.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me, man. It was a pleasure. I could talk about this all day, bro.
We'll chat about it. We'll definitely chat more about it. So thank you, everybody, for watching this week's episode of The Introduction. Make sure to tune in to this week's episode of Faces of the Future to catch our co-host, Shannon, on there. And, hey, we'll catch you guys next week. Have a good one.
Y'all.